Boston -9. Celtics to cover the spread. What's going on, guys? Western Conference Game 2. I'll say it right off the rip, guys. I have a lot more interest in this series than I do the East. I really do believe that this Western Conference Finals is far more interesting, regardless of any wagers, anything that involves money and all that stuff that we love here on the channel. Don't you guys agree? Let me know in the comments. Isn't this particular series just way more entertaining, way more interesting? I think it's just a little bit elevated in terms of the level of play, coaching, superstar power, all that stuff. So looking forward to this game, regardless of any opinions on wagering. But we got to talk about wagering. That's all we talk about every day. You guys know the drill here. If you're new to my channel, I go over every game every day, spread and total. Another whiteboard winner, guys. Boston -9 was the free pick winner in my last video yesterday. That gets my free picks record. The whiteboard winners, guys, 19-12. That is a 61% winning percentage over 31 predictions here. Gone over every game for the entire NBA playoffs. So, hey, guys, that's pretty awesome. Definitely subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet and drop a like on today's video. I'm going to update that whiteboard with another winning pick today, hopefully get us to 20-12. You guys showed me some good support yesterday. We had over 400 likes on the video. Let's see if we can get to 500 in today's video. I bet you if you can get this to 500 likes, I bet we're going to cash another ticket, guys. Quick recap here in terms of where my money was yesterday and what the heck happened with it. Well, Premium had a nice day, 4-1. The only thing we lost was the Texas Rangers +1.5. And I'll throw a little screenshot up there for you guys. They were up 1-0. They were almost at even odds to win the game. We're sitting there through 3 innings with a run in our back pocket is a little bit of a cushion. And Heaney just gets absolutely shelled, gives up a ton of runs. Texas Rangers, welcome to the no bet list. So lost a baseball pick, but a nice 4-0 day in the NBA. All the updated numbers are on the bottom of the screen. Of course, cast another one on SoBet. You guys have heard it for so many days now. 29-10 now. 29-10. That record represents one pick every single day for almost the last 40 days, the last 39 days. I'm 8-1 in my last 9 days. I'm 14-3 in my last 17 days. You guys can get access to my daily best bet on SoBet with the link right in the description of this video. It's less than $10 for an entire month, which is 30 of those picks. $10, $9.95. And once you're on that platform, you get access to all the other pros on that platform. There's over 50 of them. So head over to SoBet. Regardless if you're on this, that, follow me on this or that, or whatever you're thinking, it's a no-brainer. Be on SoBet. A lot of value over there. You can't beat it for $9.95. Cheapest way to get some exposure on some premium stuff. So yeah, guys, looking okay. Looking okay. MLB 39-33 over the last 34 days. Not great, but a winning percentage. Been some absolute chaotic losses in the mix for me lately. A couple meltdowns with the Astros and the San Francisco Giants. So that hurts that number a little bit. NBA postseason record 61-35 now. So doing just fine. Looking to close out the rest of NBA season on a high note. I think we got enough BS out of the way over those last couple days, that little cold stretch we're on. The bad beats, the meltdowns, all that stuff. It happens. It's part of sports. I'm not going to deny it. It's not an excuse. We count the losers. We put it in the record. We take the L on the chin. But man, coming off that little stretch, 4-1 day today, are we going to finish the entire rest of this month and go into June on a high note? I think so, guys. Probably a great time if you've considered it but haven't jumped on board yet to join Premium. Probably get in right now. We're coming off a cold streak. You basically dodged a bunch of crazy meltdowns and bad beats. So really a pretty good time to join. Looking to go on a heater here. Feel good. Love the way I'm seeing the board. Everything feels right. I feel great about this game. Hopefully get you guys another winning free pick today. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Links to everything in the description. TikTok, Premium, SoBet. It's all in the description. If you have questions, just leave a comment. Let's get into this game here. And this one's very, very interesting. I think we start with money splits. Let me grab my phone. Let's see, guys. Where's the money here? And this is like 1 a.m. Eastern time. So things obviously change. You get a lot of public money pouring in the afternoon. Let's check it out. What do we got here? NBA, May 24th, Friday. We are looking at, yeah, a lot of Minnesota money, a ton. and a little bit of sharp money too. Nothing, not like it's almost it's right on the verge of being like a green flag, right? It's right on the cusp of being like, okay, pretty significant. Let me read you the numbers here. 57.6% of bets made against the spread are on the Timberwolves. Of course, it's a bounce back spot at home, must win game. Timberwolves lose this, they lose the series. So, as expected, we got about 58% of bets on the Minnesota Timberwolves, but close to 80% of the money, 77.9% of the money on the spread on the Minnesota Timberwolves here. The money splits for the money line are the same, but at a spread of 5.5. I'm not going to put too much stock into that. Maybe people mix in Timberwolves money line into some parlays. You guys could consider maybe going with Minnesota on the money line and finding your favorite baseball money line of the day to add to it to get somewhere around plus money. But I do think that does involve some risk, and it might not be your best idea. I do think deep down, if you do think the Timberwolves win this game, that it's probably a better idea to just straight bet this thing, use discipline, use a responsible unit size here on this wager, and just lay the points. If you like Minnesota here, if you think they're going to bounce back strong, just lay the points. No need to go money line on a 5.5 point spread and try to get a little bit too fancy and find baseball. And yeah, I don't know. I would keep it to straight bets. Straight bets mainly, not always, but mainly are the way to go. So just always keep that in mind. I know it seems so tempting to just maybe take like the Dodgers tomorrow, Dodgers money line, a big offense like Braves, Dodgers. Some of these teams in baseball that have the good offenses and just pair it with the cheap money line price. I don't know about that. Let's get back into the game here before I go on an absolute nuclear rant about parlays and things, because this is Dan's Rants and I can go absolutely crazy on this channel. I've done it before. Let's keep on track here. I don't know, guys. This one's weird, man. 5.5 point spread. Do we just go Mavericks money line? I mean, I genuinely feel like Mavericks are the better team. This is a game where I'm sort of betting on, I'm sort of trying to figure out mindset here, right? And mentality. I do think the emotional swing of beating the Denver Nuggets in that comeback fashion in a game 7 on the road to get pretty much handled at home, that's a tougher bounce back spot than I think you guys might be giving it credit for. So I think it's easy to say, well, I think we all can expect this series to go 6 or 7 games. So, the Timberwolves lost the first one. Ant wasn't that good. He didn't really have legs under him in the second half. Some of the, the energy just wasn't there. Like, I really expect a bounce back, a series that goes 7 games. So I'm going to go with the Timberwolves here. It's a game 2. It's a must win at home. I really don't think it's that easy. I really don't, guys. Minnesota, they have the number 1 defense in the NBA at home. Okay, but the offense is so suspect. And I think, at least in my opinion, watching game 1 of this series, I really thought the threes were falling for Minnesota, especially through the first 3 quarters of the game. I mean, they were falling, man. McDaniels went absolutely crazy without his 3-pointers falling. Like, the Mavericks could have won the game like almost start to finish. So 5.5, it feels like a lot to me. It feels like a lot. I think the Mavericks are the better team. I think they're hungry. I think their players are buying in more. I think the players and the staff on the Mavericks were definitely, they had their sights set on the NBA championship versus the Timberwolves. I think their main objective this season was to get by the Nuggets. I think getting by the Nuggets and the fact that, they won the games in Denver, and then Denver, won the games in Minnesota, and it just went all the way to that crazy game 7 finish. That is just a ton of emotional and physical abuse on a young team. Cat, he's a great player, has a lot of potential. I don't trust him mentally, just a low IQ guy. So what are we going to get out of him? Is he going to be hacking this game? Gobert, man, I like the defense and I like his attitude, but he just doesn't quite have it in terms of like really being elite. Luka, I think, is getting healthier with every passing day. So I expect Luka to only improve every game. Kyrie seems like he has a fire lit under him. And the Mavericks just seem to have 2 or 3 guys. Lively, Washington. I don't know if it's Jones, but man, they just got some lengthy, athletic, fast dudes that cover ground, play hard. I like the defense. I like the game IQ. I like the team chemistry. I like the mentality of the Mavericks just buying in right now. They just seem like they're buying in. Anthony Edwards, man, I just love the Kobe mindset. I love his dog mentality. I love his energy, but man, maybe it's just a hair much. Maybe he just talked just a little bit too much, and maybe he backs it up and drops 45 in this game. I don't see it. I see the Mavericks competing, if not winning the rebounding. I see the Mavericks having a slight edge at the end of the game. As long as it's close, I would put I'd put my chips on the side of having Luka and Kyrie on a team versus just crossing your fingers that Ant is going to be dialed in at the end of a game. So you got 2 clutch players versus 1 clutch player. I think the Mavericks are more clutch. The Timberwolves offense is much more suspect than the Mavericks offense. At least in my opinion, in modern day NBA, I think good offense beats good defense. So if Luka's getting healthier by the day, if Kyrie is on a mission, I don't know if it matters how good the Timberwolves D is. I expect the Mavericks to find ways to put the ball in the hoop. I truly believe that. I think this weird kind of drop defense that Minnesota is doing with Luka to give him those mid-range, that's a disaster. I see Luka dropping 30 in this game. And you double him, you run into other problems. So I'm going to go with the Mavericks. I think I'm going to take the points, but I'm going to be patient because, like I read to you guys, the money is on the Timberwolves. I expect more money to pile in on the Timberwolves. It is a game 2 absolute must-win bounce back spot at home. I expect this to get for sure to a 6, maybe a 6.5 by tip-off. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait. If I can get a 6.5, I'm probably going to make a move on the Mavericks here. Maybe it's only a half unit, but it's probably going to be at least something. Better team, better offense, better team chemistry, like the way they're playing right now. And the T-Wolves in a bounce back spot at home, laying a reasonable number. I mean, 5.5 is very reasonable. It's not crazy. We're not talking something like 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. 5.5. I don't know. It seems way too easy, man. I feel like if the bookmakers were really scared of this number, it would have already ballooned up to a 6, 6.5. I do think it opened at 4.5. It has climbed up. It's crept up. You know, we have line movement going towards Minnesota. We have sharp money on Minnesota. We have a bounce back spot at home, must win for Minnesota. I'm not denying any of those points. Sports betting is not that easy. And the playoffs, when you get towards the end of it, you can look at this and look at this. You can look at that and this and that. And you can look at all this stuff, and it might point mainly to one side, and still the opposite thing happens here. I told you guys with the Celtics, I was going mainly off gut feeling. There were a lot of statistics offensively for the Pacers that pointed to them to absolutely be able to hang in the game with the Celtics and cover that big number of 9. Wasn't even close, man. And you know what? I think this is another dogfight. And maybe Minnesota gets the win. Okay, I'm not going to argue that they don't scratch and claw and do whatever they got to do to somehow, when that final buzzer goes off, end up with a W in the win column and tie up this series before it goes back to Dallas. But that doesn't mean the Mavericks can't cover, man. I expect the Mavericks to be in the game. I expect them to have a chance. And 5.5, we could be talking about an 8-point game, 1 3-pointer at the buzzer, a couple of those last possessions where the teams are starting to check out because, you know, it's the final result of the game is in the books, but the point spread is still up in the air. We could be looking at a backdoor cover here for the Mavericks. I'm going to take the points in what I think is another very, very close, very, very competitive game. I think the Mavericks are going to play loose. They already stole a game. So this game, this is now house money. You get to come into this game and play so free and relaxed, knowing like, okay, you know what? If our shots don't fall today, if Minnesota, puts their heart and soul into this game and just beats us on their home court, so be it. We stole one road game. We go back to Dallas 1-1. We did our job. So I don't think any pressure is on the Mavericks. All the pressure is on Minnesota. This is a must win for Minnesota. I will take the less pressured, more offensively talented, better team chemistry, more athletic team with points in my back pocket. Like I said, be patient. Try to get a 6.5. I like the points. I like the points to the Mavericks here. In terms of the game total, this is tough because the T-Wolves thrive on D. Number one defense, on their home court in the NBA. So I don't know. I mean, maybe Luka's shots aren't falling too good. Maybe they come up with some sort of scheme, the coaching staff from Minnesota to take Kyrie out of the game. And then if you're trying to take Kyrie and Luka out of the game and you're just like, you're getting double teamed and you're kicking to guys like Washington in the corner, maybe those guys just aren't hitting their shots because, we don't expect. I mean, these guys have kind of just come on as of late in terms of their offensive output. So I don't know if the shots don't fall for the Mavericks. Maybe this thing leads towards an under. Maybe both teams try to slow down the pace here, and it's just kind of a grind out war, kind of what I expected for game one. But at the same token, man, maybe Ant just goes on an absolute tear and says, you know what? I talked all that shit. I have to back it up. This is my home court and a must win. I have to take over. Maybe he goes absolutely nuclear. He's a young kid. What is he, 22, 23 years old? He should have plenty of energy in this game after that game one letdown is out of the way. So if we get like a 50-point absolute breakout, like career game for Ant, Naz Reid and McDaniels continues and Conley's on from three, you never know if that T-Wolves offense kind of comes alive. So I do think that 207 number is hard to wager. I think depending on who you think covers the spread and who you like in the game, I think it would be better for you to divide the game total and take under or over on the team total that you think strongly about. So if you expect the Wolves defense to absolutely get after it and have a solution to Luka and Kyrie, maybe you don't mess with the 207 and you look at a team total under for the Mavericks type of a thing. If you think the Wolves role players are going to step up, Ant's going to have a good game dropping 45 points, maybe you just go team total over with the home team. I think that is a better idea for you than to guess on the total that involves both teams. So just consider that, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my thinking. I'm not going to dig into the stats at this point in the year. We're a conference finals. You just got to use your intuition. When you've bet on sports for over a decade, when you watch every single game of every sport every year and you just soak it all in, your gut feeling and your intuition is actually built upon statistics and just everything that's happened up until this point. And often it's more accurate than any spreadsheet or model can actually project. So that's what I'm thinking, guys. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Time to update the whiteboard. I think I know what I like. I'm going to rock with it. We'll see what happens, guys. Hopefully we can get to 20-12. Like I said, be patient. Try to see if you can get a 6. But for the free pick video, for recording this right now, I have a spread of 5.5 available. I have to give you my opinion on what I'm seeing right now. I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take the points with Dallas in this one. I think it's going to be another great game. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully you guys have some awesome weekend plans and you enjoy the next couple of days here, guys. Of course, I'll see you in the next video with game 3 prediction for Boston and Indiana. Don't forget to hit the like button on today's video and leave your opinions down in the comment section below. Again, strongly suggest hopping on premium. I'm feeling a pretty good heat streak coming, guys. It's going to be a fun ride to end this month. Kick off June on a high note. Catch you in the next video.